I've met with a couple of you already. Some of y'all maybe came out to our Carolina Cruiser a couple times. I am the Congressman's Western Field Representative, which means I serve Haywood County and everything west. I've heard a lot of people say that they think North Carolina stops at Asheville, or they felt like in the past that North Carolina stops at Asheville. Well, you guys, everything west of Asheville has my sole attention. So the Congressman wanted to make sure that that didn't happen. So you have my full attention, and you have me for whatever you need now or in the future. So a little bit about me. I used to be the McDowell County Management Assistant. I did that for 2 years and assisted the county manager and the deputy clerk to their board of commissioners. So I understand and I can sympathize with what you guys go through a little bit, and understand a lot of the local issues that you guys are facing now and in the future. The Congressman Chuck Edwards, has been elected since January. We are going on 11 months, getting ready to go into month number 12 of his first term. He was a small business owner for a long time, owned franchises of McDonald's in the Henderson, Transylvania, and Haywood area. And then he also ran and was the state senator for the Hendersonville area as well. So he knows a little bit of what he's doing, and he's hit the ground running up in D.C. We get comments all the time. He gets comments all the time. There's first year or freshmen, as they call them, congressmen up there who still don't have a full staff. And we've been fully staffed since month 2. So he's absolutely hit the ground running, because we want to make sure that you guys are represented as soon as possible. So why did I come today? I wanted to introduce myself so you guys are in contact with me from this point on. But I also wanted to talk to you guys about how we can help you out. The first is casework. We do that through our mobile office unit, the Carolina Cruiser. We usually set up in front of your post office in the Ingalls parking lot. And we talk to constituents. So far, we brought, veterans who aren't getting their benefits, people who aren't getting their disability benefits that need them, anyone that has an issue with a federal agency. We brought Western North Carolina's folks over $2 million already in 11 months. So we're working really hard on that. Our casework staff is fantastic. They are very fast. They work through those cases like you wouldn't believe. Next, the Congressman does legislation in D.C. He is actually just appointed to the Appropriations Committee in D.C., which is an A committee and holds a lot of pull up in Washington. So he's going to be able to do a lot more things for Western North Carolina after being named onto that committee. He's the first freshman congressman in many years to get appointed to that seat, and that's because of how hard our office is working. He also serves on Infrastructure Committee, Budget Committee, and House Oversight and Government Accountability Committee. So with all of that, that's my spiel. I wanted to kind of see, what are some needs that Graham County has. If you guys have anything that comes to mind that we can be thinking of. I know me and Kim have already been working together on a few issues, some economic development grants that I've sent her. Any federal grant that you guys have, send them to me and we will write a letter of support and throw our weight behind your applications. But is there anything else that you as commissioners think that we should be aware of at this point? And if not, I know it's kind of, spur of the moment. All of y'all have my card and contact information now. You can text, call me, weekends, evenings. I don't care. I work all the time. So I'm here for you. Any questions?
I can
Any
vouch
comments?
for that. He'll answer your call, or he'll get back with you.
We try our
Thank
best.
you for that, Luke.
Absolutely. Is there anything else? All righty. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for driving us such pretty weather.
Yeah, no problem. And I apologize, I do have to run. I've got a mom who's trying to make me some food in Nebo in McDowell County today.
All right. Be safe.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to be right.
Thank y'all. See ya.
See you, dear Heavenly Father, and just thank you for this opportunity to be able to come together. Father, we ask that you just continue just to give us the strength, and most of all, Father, just give us the knowledge. Father, we ask that you just continue just to be with our families and also our communities that are sick and ill. Father, we just ask that you just touch and heal. Father, we ask that you just continue just to guide us and just be with us. And we're just so thankful for the blessings and the gifts that you give us. And Father, we ask that you just continue just to watch over us. And Father, in all these things we ask of you, in your precious and holy name, Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, we need to delete number 6 and number 7. We'll reschedule those. And then for number 15, we'll continue to the 29th. If that's pleasing to the board.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? We have a motion to approve the minutes from workshop and regular meeting from 10/17.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Tawana? Yeah.
As you know, I'm Tawana Ledbetter, in case you didn't. I'm the tax collector of Graham County. I began as a tax clerk on September 17th of 2001. I began as tax collector April the 18th of 2002. I became Graham County's first certified collector in April of 2001. Upon completion of multiple tests and many classes, I request this meeting to discuss the tax collection office, our jobs, our responsibilities, and our pay scale. I've been employed for over 22 years. I make $22.29 an hour right now. Since I became collector in 2002, I've implemented many new programs and processes to the benefit of Graham County. A few of the programs I've implemented would include issuance of house boat stickers. They usually come in and they make sure they pay. It started out at $0.25 now $5 a sticker. Debt set off in 2004. That goes against the North Carolina state income taxes. Beer and privilege license, that's like if they actually sell outside of city limits now, they have to pay a fee. It's $50 for beer and wine. They get that usually around June, May to June. Bank attachments, started those in 2010. Over the phone bill pay, they actually called in, we took their information in 2010. Collection of town of St. Hecla, we picked that up in 2014. In 2015, we implemented the in-rem foreclosure sales. The first one was William Amos, and the buyer was Michael Phillips. That's the first one ever done in Graham County. So I was the first tax collector to ever issue the in-rem. We always used an attorney. With those being an in-rem, I am responsible for splitting out and surplus the funds. I send it to the sheriff's office, to our taxes, to the clerk of court, and if there's any overages, that money we don't keep. We send that to the clerk of court as surplus funds. They then have to get the person, if they're wanting it, they have to petition the courts to get that money. Online web payments started in 2018. We've had really good success with that one too. Collections of Town of Robbinsville, we started that in 2018. And then on a note, the tax collector and the deputy tax collector has the power to sign and send attachments, garnishments, levies, or foreclosure notice as long as the bill is past due. On real property, that starts January the 6th. A lot of people think you have to wait to the advertisements to do any kind of attachments. You actually can start that the day it's delinquent on the 6th day of January for taxes. Anything else is when it's past due. The attachment notices the collector and the deputy collector, being and myself, have the power to sign and enforce, has the same authority as a court order without having to be presented or signed by a judge. There's vast differences in the duties of a tax clerk compared to the duties of a tax collector and a deputy tax collector within the state of North Carolina. A clerk is an entry-level position that provides office duties in the city, town, or county department. The clerk maintains cash drawer, answers the phones, answers some tax questions, files paperwork, accepts residential and local business tax payments and documentations of these payments, and assists the tax collector in whatever they may need, but not to include signing of any enforcement documents. Only the collector and deputy collector can sign those documentations. Any legal means of attachment. The clerk is the one you would expect to see taking money at the window, answering the phones, doing basics. A deputy collector can do basically the same duties as the tax collector, following the tax collector's lead, directions, and for sure the laws. The deputy collector has the authority to sign attachments of enforcement, and the salary in the state of North Carolina ranges from $33K to $47K. The job description of a tax collector for the county and the duties that are generally practiced.
Sorry, guys, I was on mute. Okay.
The job description of a tax collector for the county and the duties are generally practiced are included: performing responsible administration supervisor work in accounting and collection of taxes, responsible for supervising the collection of taxes in county and the towns, accounts for monies collected in accordance with the state law, assist and educate the public regarding North Carolina tax law and accounting procedures, collections on delinquent taxes using all legally enforced efforts. When that comes up, you are supposed to, by law, do all enforcements before you do foreclosure. Foreclosure is usually your last resort. You've got to try all means besides that one before you actually do foreclosures. Attachments can include garnishment of wages, garnishment of bank accounts, the debt set-off program, and again, that goes against your income tax at the end of the year, rent attachments. So if you rent from Kim and I come in and I can actually give you a notice, I'm going to collect the rent, but Kim ain't going to get the rent. That don't go over well, but we've done that a time or two. Bankruptcies, I file them with the state to hope to get their funds. We're usually a priority, so usually we have no problem getting those funds. Foreclosures, the in-them. I visit with taxpayers to try to set up payment plans in hopes to avoid foreclosures or something to that effect. My work requires considerable knowledge of the state laws regarding tax collection. My effectiveness is indicated by annual reports, monthly collection reports, annual finance and audit reports. These audit reports show the operations, collections, and percents for Graham County, town of Santigua, and also the town of Robbinsville. My job also requires supervision of other departmental funds deposited to the tax collector's office. I supervise and participate in collecting money for taxpayers in person, by mail, web payment assist. Lots of times they'll call in and say, how do we do this? I'm stuck. We help them any way we can. Or just by the phone. They call and say, hey, I can give you my numbers and you take them. Balancing cash drawers. Making bank deposits. Preparing Graham County Commissioner's reports on collections monthly, along with the Town of Robbinsville reports and the Town of St. Peter reports. I send those usually by email to the supervisors or to them when in collection. Request communications with delinquent taxpayers on their payment options, payment plans, which we have several people who's actually doing monthly payment plans, and that's a good thing. Possibly other county actions which could lead to foreclosure. Review the foreclosures to decide which one to pursue for collections. The reason we do that, there are some pieces of land that Graham County would not want to be stuck with buying. It may be straight up a bank, it may be a rock bar, it may be like a .20, you can't even put a septic tank on it. There's lots of reasons you don't want to touch those. They may be exceedingly amounts, but if nobody bids on that, when they look at the property, Graham County bids first. We set the minimum. We would be stuck with that property, and there it would be. So that's the reason we do that. Inform the public of changes in the law, When it comes to NREM, I have to perform a 40-year title search. Those are not certified. I'm not a certified title searcher. We go in, we have to go back 40 years trying to trace all heirs, all lineages, all heirs to the property. Sometimes that can take weeks, sometimes it can take months, and I mean months. Sometimes it can take 6 months, and it's just myself and Dee. So that is a long, drawn-out process at times, especially if there's heir property, which we have quite a bit of that in Graham County. May perform levies on personal property. If I see a boat sitting there and the sheriff has got somewhere to store it and watch it, we can go pick up your boat. We can say, okay, you owe us $500. That boat will sell for $500. Go get it. I can go with the sheriff. I can issue them a garnishment to go get that boat. They can pick up that boat, they can take it and store it, and we can sell it and pay on taxes. Jet skis, anything like that. Coordinates and sends taxes to escrow and to mortgage companies. Process collections on all return checks. They come to me, I process them, I send them notices, we try to collect those. There's usually a $25 fee. With taxes, whichever is greater, it can go up to a $1,000 fee. Whichever is greater, 10% or $1,000. Which one's your greatest amount? Refund checks requested for overpayments. Like if the mortgage comes in and they have paid $100 too much, I write up a request, I send that to Stacy, along with the reasoning why. Intervene and handle situations with irate taxpayers. I hate to say that sometimes we do have those. I wish we didn't, but we do. Issue mobile home moving permits and verify that taxes have been paid. Most of the time, like if it's a 2023 and they're moving it inside the county, as long as 23 is paid, they can move it. If they are moving it outside of Graham County, those, if it's after January, you're right at January, those 2024 taxes have to be paid because they are moving it outside of our premises and it will not be collected if they don't go ahead and pay them. Obtains an employees list from the employer's list for means of collections through attachment of wage garnishment of enforcement collection. Resolving problems and situations that arise in a professional, ethical manner, which I try to do. Don't always go very well, but I try. Attending conferences and meetings, keeping informed on changes in laws and practices, keeping up to date with the statutes. Prepares delinquent advertising list each year for the paper. Lots of times we usually average about a 97%, it has been for the last few years collection, sometimes 98. There's a lot of names in there. Oh boy, we hear that a lot. You know, why are you not doing anything? Well, there's things they don't know. There's foreclosures. There's bankruptcies. There are payment plans that people have. If they owe $1, they get put in the Graham Star. That's just the law. And that don't mean they're not making payments. That don't mean there's something not implemented. It just means I can't touch that for some reason. Or I can't find them at the bank. Or I can't find their job. Something to that effect. Participate in interviews with hiring staff and tax collections because, I know the jobs. They have to be able to perform it. Performance coaching and evaluation of my employee. I do evaluations on her, send those to department heads, to Kim. Stamp deeds before recording and register deeds. Also sign off on plats. I left that one out, but we have to sign off on those maps that get recorded upstairs in the register deeds. Plat review officer, we are that too. As of October 2023, the statewide average for a tax collector in North Carolina was $32 per hour. I've got a graph on tab 2, I've tabbed them. With the suggested rate being $28 per hour. With having more responsibilities than just the average tax collection office duties, but only collect property taxes. And the majority of counties using the attorney process foreclosure. The reason I say that is when I went to class in September, there was 2 of us that used NREM. 2. This was at UNC school government. 2 of us used NREM. And that whole thing, I thought Cherokee County did. I called and asked them. No, they have no one to do NREM. They are now using an attorney somewhere out of, I think, Swain or Bryson. I'm not for sure. Or not Bryson, but Asheville. And I said in here, I believe that I'm entitled to review of a financial compensation and should be compensated at a rate compatible to the North Carolina's average suggested rate of $28 an hour. Now it says compatible. I didn't say I want $28 an hour by no means. Comparable. Based on my job performance, my duties, and my work history, not including longevity. Longevity, I've been here a long time, yes, but I won't be based on my job. I do my job. I work hard at my job. I maintain collections in my job. I've tried my best to pick it up. I gather information from other counties with a similar population to Graham County. Population for Graham County is about 7,800, something to that effect. Tyrell, similar in size with a population of 3,365, compensates their collector 48 to 73, with current salary of 59. The deputy clerk ranges from 30 to 45, with a current salary of 35. Jones, a similar county with a population of 9,233, pays their collector between 60 to 90,000. The deputy collector 40 to 60,000. Allegheny County, similar county with a population of 10,000, we're getting up a little bit above Graham County, 10,807, pays their deputy collector 43 to 59. The assistant tax collector 37 to 50. And they didn't give me anything for a tax collector, but you know it's going to be higher than an assistant. A tax collector, I'd say, would be 48 to 60 because it's going to be in a different range than that. Clay County population 11,309, pays their tax collector 61 to 92. Cherokee County, which I know we have a casino, but I just pulled it because it's close. Cherokee County with a population of 29,167 pays their deputy collector 33 to 49. Their tax collector is paid 53 to 79. Based on the searches as of September, which this was September, the average tax collector salaries in North Carolina is $53,159, which would average around $25.56 per hour, with a range that typically falls between 43 and 64. Pay can range and vary depending on several factors: education, which experience counts in that; certifications, which I've got those; additional skills, we do those; additional responsibilities, we have a lot of those. We have to keep up with other departments' monies too; a number of years spent in the profession. All the tax collectors only, the ones that I checked on, the ones that I mentioned, only perform tax collection duties on the original tax levy that they're charged with. Yet all counties pay significantly more hourly wage, without including outside departments' duties such as receipt of funds from other departments like our tax collector's office performs on a daily basis. Most counties have multiple county employees assigned to specific duties in the collection department, where DeKenya, deputy tax collector, and I do all that is needed to be done, which includes from the tax window collections through all legal collections that are enforceable, while maintaining the balance for all other county money that is deposited daily to the tax collector's window. So everybody just about in the county brings their money to me. We keep track of that, we deposit that, we keep count of that when we actually turn all that in. Not that we're balancing the records, but we have to keep that money. We're the safe for that money. The county's growth in revenues and collections shows the efforts I've achieved in the programs I have brought to the office and that I have been assigned to do for Graham County over the last 22 years. I am charged each year to collect millions of dollars, with the 2023 entire tax levy being $9,924,164.61. On behalf of Graham County, we've got $9,228,997.86. On behalf of town of Robbinsville, we have $419,418.29. For town of Santigla, we have $275,768.46. In addition to this amount from the general responsibilities, I'm also responsible for holding and depositing of other funds from other departments, including Sheriff's Office, the jail, dentist, sanitation, dumpster fees, Health Department, EMS, Register Deeds, and other county departments. We also deal with the VTS, which is the DMV. We do the tribal releases and tribal refunds when they come to the window. We issue and we also give out like the exemption forms, so we've got those at the window. We've got a big sign on our window. You ask us about this exemption if you are this age. We can help anybody that's a permanent resident if you're 65 or older, which we keep that there. We want people to get this if they can qualify. The success of the program I've implemented and accomplished prove the asset I am to Graham County. The levy I'm charged with each year and the collection percent speaks for itself. I have worked diligently for Graham County. I am a willing participant in anything that's requested of me because I strongly feel that each office should support and help each other as a team entirely, all working to make Graham County a better place. I must maintain my certification by way of credit hours each year and work hard to find classes that are near me so I can go. When I first became collector, the office had payment plans and a type of enforcement that the office did was garnishing of wages. That's the only thing that I remember doing when I first come in. The only foreclosure the county processes were through Chester Jones, who then was a county attorney. The foreclosure process in the state at the time was generally carried out using the attorneys. Most people never did in-ring. The tax collector's office and the attorney would send out letters of foreclosure. If no payment was made, Those letters brought in money because they came from the law office, some money. The attorney would then foreclose on behalf of Graham County for delinquents, the ones that did not pay payments. I'm a reliable and loyal employee, been here 22 years. Try to let you know when I'm going to be out. I always give advance notice if I can, unless something happens like with my grandson did years ago. I am dedicated and strive to provide a higher revenue for the benefit of Graham County each year. You kind of make it like a challenge. We want a higher rate. What can we do? Let's do this. Let's do that. And I mean, that's how you have to do it because you want it to be better each year. You want it to improve. I do not procrastinate. I don't like that. If I've got something on my desk, I want to do it. I like to get it done, not leave it laying there and me forget about it. And I'm a team player. I try to do whatever I can to help each department. I try to step in if they ask me and help out. I assist other offices upon request and try to help in any possible way. If I'm going to be out of work, I put in prior notice. Lane is perfect evident of that, so is Kim. Unless it's an emergency situation. I feel that my loyalty, my dedication to speak highly of my diligence to my work, position, and my abilities. I feel I'm deserving of financial compensation based on the performance of my work ethics. I have been entrusted as tax collector, department head, to handle any and all complaints and complications that may arise to the office in a polite, professional, and ethical manner. I do not bring problems to the commissioners, county manager, or HR unless it's a persistent and extreme matter that could potentially become a matter for the board or could end up in a lawsuit. I have done and do the job to the best of my abilities to advance Graham County. If I didn't, Graham County would be dramatically short on funds, and a lot of projects that would have to be placed on hold due to lack of revenue. Or the state potentially could come in based on a decreased collection percentage and take over. I do all I can for my county because, one, I'm proud to live here, and I am. Been here all my life. Love it. I don't want to move. I want to stay right here where I'm at. I'd like to see it grow and prosper, but also because that's my job. That's what I hired in to do. I mean, people don't always like me, but that's my job. So I will do it, and I try to be nice to people. The revenues have increased in percentage from 93 when I took over to 97 and 98% since I have been a collector due to the efforts and enforcement I have processed over the years. The residents of Graham County don't necessarily like those efforts, but most they accept them because they know I'm going to do them from year to year. I've had dealing with them. This sure doesn't prevent the rude speech I deal with on a yearly effort to collect and to do my job. I handle it in the most professional manner possible. I have to exercise independent and sound judgment in analyzing situations and making decisions involving a variety of physical year. Graham County entrusted me enough to respond in a professional manner without having to involve them unless the need is great, and I appreciate that. I love my job. I love the citizens I deal with on a daily basis, but I truly feel like it's overlooked as the importance of what the demand is on me in my office. I can face lawsuits. I can go to jail if something comes up wrong. They can say, hey, we're going to send you to jail because you did this wrong, and it can actually be jail time. If I don't follow and know the North Carolina statutes and the laws, I must do my very best to adhere and follow them to the letter of the law. I'm requesting my pay be raised to show my performance, classes, certifications, faithfulness to my job, longevity, and to my diligent efforts that I have made over the years of service to help prosper and increase the incoming revenues in Graham County and the towns. I am requesting that the 25 to 28. The 25 would be the one that would be like in the September average. And for my deputy collector, I'm requesting a pay increase to be raised within comparison to the average of 18. Not saying she wants to be 18, but a comparison, something to up her, because she is actually signed off on these same documents with behind me. She could face jail time. She could face all of these same things that I'm doing because she is working under me, but she has authority to sign those the same as I do. Kenya has completed all of her required schooling. She's passed her test to be able to sign off on all enforcements and collections. That's something we don't take lightly because that's just the same as a judge's order. You look those over and you make sure you've got your ducks in a row before you sign those and send those out because that could get you in hot water. Her raise should show compensation to average pay and request for her responsibilities and duties as deputy collector, not just a clerk's duties. She does more than answer the phone and file this and answer questions. She actually signs those enforcements also. My faithfulness to my job, faithfulness to be present in the office, the ability to show growth. And usually I'm never late. I'd rather be early as late. So you'll find out if you've ever come through there. Most of the time I'm there at 7:30 because I'd rather be early, don't like to be late. My diligent, consistent efforts to do better for Graham County as a whole, along with my job duties and education, should merit this financial compensation. I have included the attachment on the back in Part 4 that shows the percents for the tax years 2011 and this month's current, which was actually yesterday's, for your convenience. Thank you for consideration of this matter. And today's up to collection date, as of 2:30 today, the breakdown, we have collected altogether $3,723,897.76. To Kenya, we run 2 operators because you can't run the same one on computer. Her window and her desk. To Kenya has collected $1,470,084 and some odd cents. Me and Davis, which we collect one and Davis, it's the same operator, $2,116,041 and some odd cents. The well has collected $137,753. But when you look at, I'm in the clerk, I put the definition, now I've got the pay scales where I got those. But if you look at this one, this first one on tab number 4, you'll see our percent right now is 37.76. That's just Graham County, so you'd say 38%. Our collections is $3,483,412.81. In November of last year, our collections was $2,983,365.84. Yeah, it has a bigger percent, but look at our levy. Our levy last year was $7,278,602.62. This year, our levy up here was $9,224,951.88. And each one, they show a different and a lower percentage. But when you look at the levies on each year and at the collection amounts, they're greater and they're going to be lower because you've got a bigger levy. And then it's got like there, we had a 97% last year in 2022. 94 was in 2021. That was a bad year. 2020, that was the COVID year. Me and Amy, Tacos Amy, stayed in there and we worked. And people would come by and pay. And we would answer phones and we would take payments while everybody was going home. We'd still work. We had a 98% collection rate during that. And that was a trying time for everybody. In 2019, we had 97. In 2018, we had 97. 2017, we had 97. And that 17 year, we had actually plugged in some of the town of Robbinsville's. We hadn't had all the bills put in, so we actually ended like 35% there, but that's just a portion of their bills that we had. We picked them all up in 2018. 2016, we had 97. 2015, we had 96. 2014, we had 97. 2013, we had 96. 2012, we had 96. 2011, we had 94, well, 93. But I mean, if you don't mind, review those, and I would sure greatly appreciate it. Do you have any questions for me?
Why can't you get to the 3%?
I'm trying, but you can't never get it all because of the bankruptcies, the foreclosures, I mean, that other people are doing. And you can't go against it. Like now, we've got one foreclosure that's not me, but I can't touch it. That's like it's at a state. And so when the state's there, you can't do anything with that. So maybe we'll get that when they do actually sell that piece of property. It's quite a big piece. But we do try. But people look at the newspaper and they think that you're not doing anything. I mean, what they think that we do, I mean, all honest, they think we sit at that window and we collect money, and that's all we do. Boy, are they bad wrong.
What's our collection since we started foreclosures? Have we come up to
Do what now?
our foreclosures?
We started foreclosures in 2015.
Yeah, and how much we took in so far?
I
No, I don't
put that
have
on the financial report, let me see.
I would look up.
Yeah, the analysis of the past due taxes, let's see, we have taken in, on past due taxes alone, they've collected $8.4 million.
I also went to the jail. This person I need to go see, I tried to send him, and I sent his search card, and he come back. He was in jail, so I just got my little papers, and I just went to the jail and told him I need to see him. Did I not? He come by today, and he got out and paid me some money. He didn't pay it all. He did pay me some money. I told him if he didn't, he's going to be foreclosed on. I'm sorry. Had a gentleman come the other day, and I had sent him stuff, and he never got it. Well, I'd sent it also to his brother. His brother got in touch with him. He come in, he paid me, $300, I think, on his. I said, well, now, we have tried payments with you before. I said, so if this does not proceed and you do not come in here next month by this date, I said, it will go into foreclosure. I said, you have been warned. I said, I'm just telling you. And I mean, it's direct and to the point, but I've worked with him, and I give him every opportunity. But there's a drawing point where, you've had your chance, and I'm willing to work with anybody. You can make payments on your taxes as long as you got that account number anytime you want to. As soon as you get that bill in July, come in and start paying money on it. It don't have to be the whole thing at one time. Make payments. A lot of people do that. And they get it paid by January the 5th. So, I mean, I'm willing to work and bend with them, but some with people you just can't. I wish you could, but you can't. Any more questions?
I sure hope they give you a raise.
Well, thank you.
We'll discuss it, and then we'll get back with you.
Okay, well, I'll hang around.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. But if you have questions, my door's open. I've told you all of them that before. My door's open. You're welcome to come in anytime. More than welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Now we've got, the drug and alcohol policy that needs approved for 26.
The only change was they can now do a swab in the mouth, so that was the only change.
It looks like it's pretty typical DOT policies.
Yes.
Bring them in on it.
I'm going to make a motion that we approve that request.
Second.
All in favor?
Well, Twana helps me, we already went to the back page. I can skip that one. All right, this is the report for the month ending October 31st of 2023. Our unrestricted cash balance as of 10/31 was $4,668,815.94. Our capital projects account has $3,317,872.47. Our school capital project account has $120,738.72. The American Rescue Plan Act has $850,807.64. And our SCIF grant, which is for the courthouse, is $4,990,753.15. If we're looking at just the earnings on our accounts, we have got, for just this month alone, we earned $46,231.43. Year to date, we've earned $188,856.27. You can skip over page 2. That is just that'll be filled in as we get through this year. Go over to page 3, and where it's highlighted in green, this is our total tax collection. This comes from our real ops report. For the current year, as of October 31st, $390,280.42 have been collected for the current year. For prior year, $17,265.98 for a total collected of $407,546.40. And then our DMV, which includes our VTS, was $42,379.59. If you go down to our current year percentage for the total levy on our collections monthly total report was 22.4%. The previous year to date was 22.02%. You can see the year to date right above that. I skipped over that. I apologize. For our real current year and prior year, it's $2,152,006.94, and then our DMV was $236,526.17. So our total levy collections for the monthly total is $2,222,679.16. If you'll flip over to page 4, we are down in the little green section there. Our revenues for October 31st was $1,097,806.19. Our expenditures were $1,670,776.25. We do have a deficit of $572,970.06. There are still some transfers that are outstanding. I'm working with
the health department on the opioid settlement funds. We have paid out $45,000 of that money, which will need to be transferred over. I'm also doing an analysis on the ARPA funds that we've used through the general fund that will need to be transferred back over to there. And then also an analysis on the SCIF grant to double check to make sure that we've transferred all the funds from the SCIF grant over to the general funds. So that will increase that balance as well. If you go to page 5, you can see that our revenue to date is $5,333,118.28. Our expenditures today are $7,743,716.81. We also are, I forgot to tell you, we're also still waiting on our money back from the Volkswagen grant. Gavin had to have them come out and take pictures of the old trucks. We had to do the destruction of the old engines. They had to bore holes through them, and they had to have photo evidence of all of that. So we've met all of the qualifications now, so they should release those funds. So we're looking for those funds to come back in as well. So our year-to-date surplus deficit is $2.4 million. Prior year-to-date at the same time was $575,000. Once we do those transfers and that money comes in that's outstanding from the grants, then that should increase significantly. But we should be able to see those reflected by next month, I'm hoping. And if you go over to page 6, the sales tax collections, this is on a cash basis, and basically this is where we take the sales tax set aside money. We do segregate out the half cent, which gets put into the special account for the schools. But we have collected year to date $870,000 or $870,491.01. If you look at the variance from this same time last year, we're actually to the good. And let's see here. We actually have transferred over into the quarter cent set aside. So we've got a balance there. We won't have to do any transfers for that quarter cent set aside for quite a bit of time. So the capital projects account is actually a little bit over what it should be. And if necessary, we could do that transfer back. Or we can leave it and just not do transfers over the quarter cent sales tax for the next couple of quarters. And then page 7 is what we just talked about with Tawana. That's the analysis of the past due taxes. This is since the foreclosure started, she has done collections on just the past due taxes of $8.4 million. Does anybody have any questions regarding the report?
Thank you for the enlarged copy.
Yes, I do appreciate I like the bigger copies too. I have a hard time reading the little digits. We also did get another distribution on the opioid settlement money. So we got an additional $9,124.48. So that gets deposited into the general account, and then we do a transfer out over to our opioid account. But like I said, we do have the first part of our settlements planning that we have done. We've just done our first distribution of that for $45,000. So we'll do that transfer over to the general account to cover those funds as well. We also on the auditors, I've talked to them. They are going to extend the audit over to, let's see, they've modified the date. They were supposed to come back, is it last week, Kim, I believe? It's not on this one, they put it on there. But they have modified it. They'll be coming back to do their final field work in January. We should have everything cleaned up into order. June is almost closed. I've got the bank reconciliation completed now. That was a task in itself. There was a lot of things that I didn't have access to that now I have access to. Most of them included the EMS payments. Once we figured out that those payments were getting handled by a third party and I was able to get into those files, then I was able to finish the reconciliation. So that was what was outstanding. That was a significant part of June that was outstanding. So I've got those all booked now, and I'm going to be trying to complete the trial balance next week. I should have that into the auditors. And then they also want some information on all of our grants. So I'm going to be putting all that into a spreadsheet for them. They want to see all of our grants by federal and state. So I'm putting that into a spreadsheet for them. And I believe that's all that we owe the auditors at this point. But we do have to have the amendment signed to extend the audit. And they had some scheduling issues, so that was the first time that they could come back to take care of that. So I think only the chairperson has to sign, but it did have to be voted on this evening. So that is one thing that we'll need a motion on.
You need a motion?
I do need a motion for, it's an amendment to the contract to the audit accounts.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
And those were for all good reasons, that they extended that.
Yes.
I think most of us understand that there were a lot of extra work that you had to do that you weren't really familiar with, and they understood.
Right.
And I felt that they were very considerate
They were.
and wanted to be, and very complimentary of the work that's being done.
They were a great team. We really enjoyed working with them. And the reason for the amendment is simply because they have to report it back to LGC. So the local government commission has to have a copy of the amendment to say why.
Would it be appropriate to get a letter from LGC stating that it will not affect the reimbursements of the sales tax? Because one of the things is in the legislation, they've changed the law where if we have complications with budgets, or not budgets, but with audits, that they can withhold the sales tax.
Certainly. I think they talked to us about that a little bit, did they not, Stacy? They did meet.
I don't remember that specifically, but I will talk with TD about it, and then we can talk with our LGC representative as well. Yes, we also have, NCACC has an interim program, or no, actually it's an intern program, I said interim. It's an intern program where they have people, I believe it's still part of ARPA funding that they have, and it's a pilot program where they're trying to take some younger people that are out of college and are trying to get experience in the county and municipalities. They're looking to have careers in local governments, and they're trying to gain some experience. And so we have two gentlemen that will be coming in next week. I believe they start on the 27th. They'll be coming in, it's no expense to the county whatsoever, and they will be coming in and just helping us with any projects that we have. So one of them is very interested in helping with grants. He wants to kind of expand his knowledge on grants, and so I'm going to use him just to make sure that all of our grants are in order, and to help me with compiling all of those into the appropriate categories that need to be done, just making sure that everything's in compliance. And then one of the other ones is very interested in helping with opioid. He has experience with helping in the opioid settlement program that he helped another county with. So I'm going to utilize him to help us as we sit down with Donna and Martha and Bethany Leonard, and we're working through setting up all of the different account codes that we need to set up in the account, just the revenue codes and the expenditure codes, so that we can have the proper tracking for the reports that are due back. Because of the national level and then the state level of the opioid funds, there's a lot of different reports that have to be done. And so he's really interested in helping with that. And then he's expressed interest in helping us potentially put a sanitation plan together to accomplish the goals that we have there. So.
And I believe both of these young men attended Franklin
They did.
High School, and they are from Macon County.
Yeah. So they, I can't remember exactly what counties they've been working in. I think Madison, but they're both graduates from Franklin High School. So they are, Western North Carolina graduates, they're from this area. So it'll be nice to have them. Neither one of them had been to this area before, so it was new to them. But there'll be no cost to the county. It'll just be a benefit to us to be able to utilize that and just to help give them some experience in government, local government. So we'll be here for it. It's just, he hasn't really said, it's just kind of a temporary assignment as they see fit to place them here and give them some experience. And then as they have other counties that express needs and might give them exposure to different areas, then they can kind of help move them that way. I know one of them is very interested in becoming a county manager one day, so he's trying to get as much exposure as possible to the different areas of the government. So
I feel like Jack Horton indicated that he would do his best to leave them with us as long as we could use their help.
yes, any projects that we need help on, they could. I believe they both have master's degrees.
Yes,
too.
I don't think
They're
they're
intelligent, young individuals, so.
They will not leave Stacy until they have her platform for all
Yes.
the grants and what the reporting is, and she'll have it right there on her computer with reminders, and because there's lots of grants that came through years ago that's still sitting there, even back in, I think the last one was 2000, that one for the
historical.
yeah, was that
association.
2019?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something
so
popped up on
we've
it.
got a whole lot of those type of grants that neither I nor Stacy had the knowledge, but they're gonna help us.
We're gonna have them just help us dig through and make sure that if they're not closed out, what are the requirements to close them out? Is there a reason that they're being held open? And just making sure that we've hit all of the milestones there's progress reports, there's financial reports, there's all different types of things. So I think it'll be most helpful in helping us dig into those. So,
Complete wrap-ups.
yes,
Spreadsheets on every single grant that we're involved in.
so I'm super excited about having them come in. Yes.
I'd like to mention Sharon Edmondson. She's retired in December, and she's been a great advocate for Graham County over the years and in different areas. And I've got to work closely with her for the past year, and so we talked the other day, and she said, I'm finally retired. And but I told her she's going to be dearly missed by everybody because everybody relies on her expertise, because you could just call her and she could tell you what you need to do. And so I just wanted to kind of let y'all know that she is retiring and don't know who's going to replace her. So that's
Who
going to be
is that?
part.
Who?
Sharon Edmonston.
Oh, yes.
She's with the Department of Treasury.
She's been involved in Green County in a very long time.
Yes.
For a very long time.
I do also have some amendments that I need to bring up. We'll need to make motions to pass these as well. I met with several of the different departments just trying to get their budgets cleaned up and just doing an analysis on their budgets. The amendment number 5 is DSS. They just needed to do some internal transfers, but it was $7,500. So I did bring that as a budget amendment to you guys. And then that's the first one. And then spent quite a bit of time with the health department. They've had quite a bit of money coming in just through different little grants and different things that they've been doing. They had a WNC bridge grant that is putting revenue into adult health. So that would be amendment number 6. And the amount of that one was $6,500. So that's that one. And then we have another one. This is also, again, for the health department. It's the workforce development. And they got a Great Smoky Mountains grant. And it was for $6,200. So that's another one. And then we have another one for health department. This is WNC Bridge grant, but this one is for child health. And the total amount of it was $6,400. And this one was a redistribution of COVID money. They have a COVID response department, and it's actually a redistribution of those funds. All of the funds, for some reason, at budget time were dumped into clinician fees, and they needed those redistributed amongst the other expenditure line items because of the way that they're going to perform the work in that department. So it was a total of $66,580 that had to be redistributed. It's all within the same account. We just had to create some new expenditure line items for better tracking. And we had DSS received an energy supplement. They use this to kind of help pay for Freeman Gas, Superior, wood for different people, but it was some extra money that was sent their way. It was $29,000. They had to turn it around quickly. It got deposited and they had like 5 business days to get it distributed. This to help with heating during these winter months. So that is another budget amendment of $29,051.64. And one more. This one was also for DSS. They received some money for continuous coverage unwinding and then an enhanced Medicaid claiming. And the total amount of those funds was $80,482.01. It was not budgeted. So these are budget amendments. It is number 5 through number 11 that I will need motions to approve.
One single motion?
Can we do that? Yes. Okay.
Do we have a motion to approve these budget amendments?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right. And then one last thing that I had was the Register of Deeds had come to us and had requested that we do an analysis on her compensation. She had done, I prepared something here for you. I will pass it out and try to explain it as I'm passing it out. I've got her, oops, it's not attached. I've got her current information on here as well as her requested information and then what the difference is, how it would affect the budget. And then she wanted us to let you know as well how much of her budget is actually supported by the county, funded by the county. So that is the very last section on there. So her current budget right now for herself and her deputy includes her annual pay, her salary, FICA, and retirement is $91,029.32. She's requested an increase to $105,668.26. The difference is $14,638.94 as far as the budget is concerned. County funding for fiscal year 20 to 21 was 12%. We only funded 12% of her budget, and that's due to the revenues that she brings in. In 21-22, we funded 11%. In 22-23, we funded 15%. And so the current year, our current budget that we have in place today for fiscal year 23-24, we're actually funding 17%. If we go with her increase request, it would increase it by 4%, which would put the county funding her at 21%. So her revenues take care of the rest of the funding for her department. And also she wanted me to bring to your attention that the AEMP funds, it's basically a contingency type account that can be used for different purposes, and it has a balance of $128,000 in it to date. And we contribute to that. It's a general statute account that is set up.
But she can buy her office supplies.
Yeah, she can buy different things with it. Like, for example, she's having to, what is the process that she calls?
recover or
They're rebinding some of the old original documents, some of the old books, preserving them. And so like that AE&P fund can take care of preserving those type of documents, historical documents that have to be maintained. So she wanted that to be brought to your attention as well, that can kind of help take care of a lot of their inner office needs. The AE&P fund can, so those funds don't actually come out of the general account.
any idea what percentage that it would cover?
The AE&P funds, she will pay whatever it takes to pay for the rebinding, it will come out of that account.
All of it?
Yeah, all of it, like
Like
our
our-
big shelves and stuff, that's the money that paid for that.
Mhm.
Her new furniture, they use that money, so that's kind of like her monies to use inside of her office.
And where's that money come from? State?
Yeah, it's a state law. So she doesn't come and request large capital outlay projects because she can use that money to do what she needs to do.
Is that recurring money from the state?
It is.
Automatically?
Every time
It is
there's-
recurring.
it is.
Yes. Annually?
So monthly, she has to turn in a register of deed reports back to the treasurer's office. She submits her reports to me, and then I in turn have to file them with the North Carolina treasurer. And so that stuff gets reported back monthly. I'm not sure when the distributions come back, it might be quarterly, but that money does come back.
Is she
Portions of
guaranteed a
that.
certain amount each year?
And I can pull that statute if that would be helpful as far as the AEP. I thought I had a copy of it in here, but I must have left it. Whatever the deed stamps come through and that she gets a percentage. It's a certain percentage of the revenues that she makes. So that, you each have a copy of that, and I can get more information if you need it, but she wanted us to bring that into consideration. She also had brought us some comps of other counties as well to look at, just to kind of see the minimums and the max, just for comparison. So I told her that I would bring that before you guys tonight and let you look over that. I'm sure that will need to be discussed in closed session. Yes, it's studied.
That's so good.
Yeah, we'll have to research it and talk about it.
Can I bring up about the latch money? The
Yes.
funds, just to kind of give a little bit of background. Last year, when I did find these funds and stuff, to be able to get, we were to get 2 installments. We only received 1 installment last year. The other installment came this year,
Yes.
this calendar year. We're due possibly another installment next year, if I remember the verbiage and stuff in the grant. Last year, when I come before the board asking for those funds, when I asked the board to consider those funds to be given to the fire departments because we're very in need of replacing some equipment. And I just wanted to know if the board was considering that other installment to the departments, because I'd asked, because it totals right at $900,000, and the board gave right at $100,000 to the sheriff's office, and then the rest of it was right up into the fire departments. And so I'm just coming again to ask again because of, as y'all know, we asked our legislators to help fund 2 fire trucks for the county, and we were denied. We did not get no compensation whatsoever from the state budget. And so it is put in a situation in bind in trying to get these trucks and back into the system due to the fact that it's a possibility, that we could lose our ratings if we don't.
I had dug out the minutes from December of '22, when you guys first had come up with the plan for the LATCHPA funds. And according to that, Kim and I had looked over them, according to it, it appeared that we had appropriated the first tranche, is what they were calling it, of the LATCHPA funds to the fire department, or to the sheriff's department and fire department. And all of those appropriations have been made to the fire departments. But what we had stated in these minutes were that a capital improvement plan needed to be presented. And Brian Johnson, or Taco, he actually came by my office last week, and I spoke to him and explained to him that probably the best plan of action would be for the fire departments to maybe come together, have a meeting, and come up with a capital improvement plan of how you intend to spend the money. And then that could be presented to the board for the consideration. We do have the LATCHPA money. It is set aside. It's restricted until such time as the board makes a decision on it. But according to the minutes, Kim and I have determined that the need was for, number one, for us to come up with a capital improvement plan. And then if there were things that could be financed, would that be, we need to look at it both ways. So that were the two things that were in the minutes, and that was what I expressed to Taco, and I think also, is it Billy Hyde that has just taken over Graham County, is that correct?
Jeff Millsap.
Jeff Millsaps, I don't know why I said Billy Hyde, I knew that wasn't correct. Jeff Millsaps, I just talked to his office as well when she had called in and requested some information. So, that was what I recommended to them based on this. So, it's up to the board to determine how they want to handle that.
And bring it back to the board.
Well, just according to these minutes, it said that they needed to, a capital improvement plan needed to be presented.
Right.
So,
Did you have that information, William?
We put a restriction on it that it could only be used for fire trucks or buildings.
the law states that it can be used for economic development, affordable housing, transportation infrastructure, and emergency services. So there weren't like restrictions put on it per se. I mean, that's what the law says that the appropriate uses of the monies are. So that's why it was stated that a capital improvement plan needed to be presented. That way, you know, if someone came from economic development and presented a capital improvement plan, it would be up to the board to determine which plan was in the best interest of the county.
It's true, but on down in that grant, it does specify the departments that it can actually be distributed to.
Right.
And one of those departments is fire department.
Yes. Yes. Yes, so they would be.
Which Stacy doesn't have the background again, that was done before she came in, so she did not know that Commissioner Cody actually applied for the grant, found it.
Right.
Right, yes, so that was, with the
Yeah,
intention.
well, the emergency services is the fire department as well, so.
And I think Taco and them have built a new building, so between y'all, what I think the main intent was, the breakdown. If you needed a fire truck, that may be more than what Taco needed to finish out the building. I don't think it was across the board, the second set, is that how you understand?
I don't know about the second part.
Okay.
The first was even with
It was.
all of us except Hubbard, because they had plenty of trucks and plenty of buildings.
Right, so whichever way y'all want to do it, that's entirely up to the board.
That plan has to be presented.
How do you guys recommend?
I will.
Well, our capital project is fire truck.
Right.
That's, basically it. And I think Graham County's is a fire truck, and then not Snowbird,
Better
but
branch.
Better Branch is a fire truck. And I think, Taco and them at Santigua is trying to finish the building.
Right.
They just got
And I
put
think
up, they wasn't
maybe
able to
electricity
finish.
to the building or something.
Last I heard from them was insulation and electricity.
He said he had done the metal building and the pad put up, and that's where he was kind of stalled out at this point, so. Do you want me to reach out to Jeff and just make sure that he understands what we're looking for as the board? Do you want me to express that to them, to have a capital improvement plan? I told Taco that our meeting was tonight, and he was like, I don't think I'll have time to get with everybody and have something together by that point, but we could possibly have it for the next meeting. I mean, I don't mind to reach out and let them know formally that we're asking them to put together. And I told them it didn't have to be anything spectacular. If they just wanted to give us estimates and kind of what the needs were, that would be
Spending
sufficient.
X amount of dollars for this.
Right, they just kind of a basic plan of what they determined to do with the funds. And I'm just following what the meeting minutes said, so.
That's right, that's right. Well, our project is $487,016.
For the truck,
Truck.
wow, they're not cheap, are they?
And you, times that one by Robbinsville and another by Meadow Ranch.
Yeah. And it's probably, right now they're saying it's like 11-month waiting period.
He told me.
It was over 2
He
years.
told me a year.
And so now they're saying it's just 11 months. So that's about normal that we used to have. But before it was like, you're looking over 2 years before you got to put your order in, and it will lock your costs in. But we have to determine if we have those funds to lock it in first, and that's the reason.
Will they accept like a down payment to lock them in, or it's full,
No, you have
paid full?
You just sign a contract to lock it in. You don't do any payment until the truck arrives and
Until
you
delivery.
pay full amount.
But you have to have full amount on delivery.
You mentioned looking at getting a loan for that.
Right, so do we know what financing options are for fire trucks, or is that something that I need to look into, just to look at comparables?
There are options out there, but
Not good.
when you're looking at them, you're looking at, the interest rates now is unruly, and the payment plans are more than what we get in our distribution per year. So that kind of, because they're not going to finance a truck over 20 years.
Right.
No.
And we need 4 trucks total, is that what you said? Or was it 3?
Three.
3 trucks total.
So you need to talk to Jeff, is that what you're saying?
I'm just asking, is that the path you'd like me to take, just to ask them to put together a capital project or a capital improvement plan? And they can, either Lynn can bring it, or if they want to submit them to us by email or what have you, I can presume at the next meeting.
I'll get in contact with them.
Okay.
They'll come up with something. I'll send it to you.
And it doesn't have to be anything fancy, nothing formal, just,
No, I can't do
I don't know about tacos, but I know Meadow Ranch and Robbinsville both gonna be just a truck.
the trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, what was that dollar figure
Would that
for?
have changed something since somebody quit?
What was the amount on the trucks for what?
Ours is, now I forgot, I know it's $480,000.
16 cents.
Yeah, all right,
He
yeah.
said 16 cents, I got that.
Yeah, I remember that fellow, I said, why don't you just make it, even it out? And he said, I can't, that's just the way it goes.
Okay. All right. That's all I have.
Thank you, thank you.
Do you have any public comment?
No, it's not.
Discussion. Releases and discoveries. The releases of 78-1733 and discoveries of 97-56-20.
Paid motion, yes.
Make a motion to approve the releases of 7,817.33 and approve discoveries of 9,756.20.
Second.
All in favor? And we have bids for.
We have one bid laying there for, and this is the garage doors that came off the 2 buildings, so we finally received a little bid. And I don't know if it's a minimum bid, I just, he asked if he could put in for it, and I said, absolutely, they're not doing us any good, they're just sitting there, so, he put in a bid for it.
It looks like for the commercial roll-up bay doors, the 12 by 10, it looks like there was a minimum bid of 500, and then there's one of those small pole that had a minimum bid of 200.
That was the
Yes, Bill,
Old
Yeah, that was the old request. We did not receive one bid there, so.
So yes. This is from Mr. Gross, and he has put in a cash offer for 3 roll-up garage doors, $600 total for all 3. And he wants the hardware to include drive motor units.
The hardware?
The hardware, I guess it's.
I made that number 600 for the 3 roll-up doors and hardware to include.
I know the hardware, but I don't know what if that means a drive. I don't know that.
Or not, some cheap doors.
I don't think that motors on.
No, I think they go with the
It's just a
street.
chain-
Yeah,
chain
they have that with them.
Maybe that's what he means.
I mean, if we want to just say with the hardware that's available,
That's all.
yeah.
Just what's there,
Yeah.
that's it.
I don't foresee any use of the doors. I really don't.
Because they're not insulated or anything,
No.
they're just plain doors. so-
Yes.
Just them cheap
Yeah.
doors.
And one of them has a small hole that I think a rock had been thrown through it as well. So it's a pleasure of the board, whatever you want to do.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid.
Second.
All in favor? All right. We'll let Mr. Gross have it. Do we have a decision on the floor in the clerk of court's office?
Did y'all have a chance to look over the work that was for the flooring? It's not a cheap fix by any means.
We can save a ton by having
And I,
removal done in-house.
and I think the work crew will assist in that as well. If she has any facility funds, we'll use those first.
You know if there are how much.
There are some.
Some. I can go check that balance and bring that back to you.
We're going to just hold off on that decision for now.
Let me run check that balance and I'll bring that right back to you.
And are we ready to approve the resolution supporting reform of the room occupancy tax?
That is the extra 3%, and by law, we have to approve a resolution. We are going to name this District G. You have to keep the 3%, each 3% separate, because it's kind of unique a little bit. So one reporting of 3% will go under Graham County, and one reporting will go under Graham County District G. It'll all go to travel and tourism. We just had to specify it a little bit differently.
I will make a motion that we approve that resolution.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? And can we get a motion to reappoint Sue Lewis, Wanda Bruce, and Stewart for 2024 through 2026 biennium?
That's the jury commission board.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
And you get drawn next.
Where you find?
And now we need to, let's see, discussion on courtroom needs.
Okay, I had put in your packet for your review, I'm not going to expect an answer for you to look through. It was the Genesis light jury system. We met with one of the judges, plus we met with a lady that came in. They wanted something a little bit different than what she was presenting, so we'll present a little bit later. To keep our courts here, we can install some monitoring systems in front of the jurors where they present their cases. They can actually see them. So it was kind of a system like that, but I'll have a little more information. This will give you just a kind of brief explanation of what they're asking. This is not the request, it's just for you to review.
So I make a motion, we table for further information.
I've just got it up for discussion, so you don't even have to make a motion, no.
Okay, Town of Robbinsville Water System Improvement Project, any comments?
Looks like and I have that as well for your review. Looks like the town of Robbinsville are doing some improvements to the water system. And by law, I think they have to ask the county if the county has any comments or anything they would like to say. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. It's going up Long Creek. I think it's,
All our money.
yeah, it's all hers, yeah. So if you have no comments, we'll just note no comment from the board, if that's pleasing to the board.
And request to review fire marshal duties.
Okay, and I may rely on my two fire chiefs over here that help me out with this one. Troy Grindstaff has sent me an email, and he said with the recent burn bans, we noticed that fire marshal duties were not really set in Graham County. I know most counties is a paid position and they do building code, fire inspections, and so forth, but each county is different. I noticed many act as liaison between fire departments in their respective county and other public education and fire-related duties. Enclosed is a rough draft for duties of fire marshal for county commissioners to look at and discuss. If you or them would like any more information or anything, please let me know. Not looking for this to be a paid position, but merely help outline duties of the fire marshal appointed by them. And this, our current fire marshal on paper is Jackson at this time.
And fire inspector, Jacob Downs, which I think Jacob went and took some classes for fire marshal here not long ago. You still there, Jacob?
All I heard was fire marshal and Jack Jackson.
Talking about, did you get them classes in for the fire marshal?
No, not yet, but I'm gonna take them.
Okay. Can you get up with Troy Grindstaff about it and talk to him about what's going on there?
I have not, I didn't know I needed to, but I can.
Okay.
I think this just came up, Jacob, he just gave it to me, and I think we just have to approve, as a board, you have to approve the duties of a fire marshal.
Yeah, that's fine, I thought Steve about the other day, it's fine with me.
Okay.
Do we have any new or old business?
I do have a couple of things. You got in your packets the capital projects lists. Number one, site, question mark. I did reach out for a question today on the site that was in discussion, and I did not get an answer this afternoon. So if we can table that decision tonight, and since we're going to continue this meeting, I should have the answer at the next meeting. Yeah, and then the other stuff's kind of self-explanatory. The senior center kitchen, it's finally, the design's underway, so they're getting started on the remodeling of the kitchen. We do need to award the CDBG. They did approve for us sole procurement. That was Jeremy Lunsford, I guess that's Western Carolina, is the only ones, and it should be on your desk, that had put in a bid for our CDBG homes. And we do need to award that tonight so he can get started. Those funds have to be expended and all signed out by June 30. So the faster the better on that. So if you will entertain a motion to approve that award.
I'll make the motion.
All in favor?
Okay, and then we're going to discuss the clerk of court flooring. I think there was two different floorings. One was a little bit more expensive, so we'll review that a little bit more because there were some more in your packets. Okay. Yeah, it should be, Jason probably left it on the desk. There was one other thing for the school is requesting us to approve the, $58,600 for the design of the homeside permanent bleacher seating replacement. I will say this, we can hold the allotment from their sales tax or from their appropriation next year. It's not like it's gonna be, we don't have to make it taxpayer dollars. It can come from the appropriation if you're okay with moving forward. We're gonna have to move forward. It's just a matter of, they don't have the $158,000 to spend. Do we?
Do we have any kind of verification of what they have in their lottery funds?
They do still have money in their lottery funds. I can get an updated, you can go online, it's public. So I can go online and pull up their balances. The only problem is we don't know if they have budgeted uses for that already. So it was on my list to ask, do you want me to request their budget, and do you want me to request, like, if they've already, like, budgeted out those lottery funds?
Yeah, let's do that. And can we table this until we?
Jacob, do they need that bid today, or can this be tabled?
Can they what?
Do you need the bid or the approval for the design of the bleachers tonight?
I mean, I guess it depends on who you're asking need to.
We probably get it quicker if we just ask.
I mean, as far as timing, what probably maybe get done a long time ago, but I mean, I don't know if a month will be a deal breaker or anything like that, or the next meeting we have, but,
We could do it until Wednesday, next Wednesday.
oh yeah, I should be fine.
Hold.
I mean, it's not a matter of appropriating all this money, that's the decision from another day, I think. Sorry. But, I mean, we can fund this project with their money essentially, so, let's just move forward with it so we don't push the, down the road and get right behind the cars. We won't have any idea what the full cost for this thing is going to be until we get it designed and we get actual contractor prices.
So we now want us to know what's in it.
It's the only way to get the big picture.
If you would want to speak to that, Stacy.
How much has the county already got in these bleachers?
We already gave the $250,000, which we had already paid the loan payment in June, so technically we didn't have $250,000 until this coming June, which we've already advanced that at this point. But we do have, the $0.25 set aside.
You want to hold until next Wednesday?
Going for the budget. Is that your recommendations?
Do we have anything for close?
Well, the other packet, you'll see EMS paving, he's got a breakdown of the cost that's coming up for Graham County Commissioners, and it's totaling $42,633,000. I will say the Graham County Justice Center, it includes the renovations of our existing courthouse. So that was the price that's inside for everything. They have reached back out to the design team and made some adjustments to cut. They were wanting to build in a way where it could be built on at a later date as needed. And so everything would already be in place, just for an easy build on.
Bare minimum requirements.
Bare minimum requirements. So that's what we're looking at. So I thought everybody should know, this commission board is looking at $42 million to have to come up with pretty quickly.
And after our financial review, we know how much we've already been tasked, to be able to take on without having to affect our taxpayers.
I will say, Jason is applying for a grant for $25,000 within CDOT on the paving, but you can see the paving came in at $220,000 on the low side, $300,000 on the high side. But that will involve taking everything up and then putting all new down, so. But we will have hopefully a $25,000 grant to come back in, so. And I did have one request from our custodian, which is Donna Bolinger. She goes to 11 buildings. She's the only one that travels in between the buildings as much. And she's asking if she could have one of the Equinoxes that we were going to put up for surplus to drive, not drive home, just to drive here. She's getting a new vehicle and she doesn't want to start putting cleaners and things like that in her own vehicle. So
We ever paid her mileage,
no,
traveling all over town.
no. And I mean, that's totally up to you, Keith. Is one of them better? I mean, is that something?
That comes from DSS, is pretty much shot.
The one that came from us.
I don't necessarily see a problem with that, as long as she just goes with the facilities.
I hadn't really thought of it, but I hadn't realized, she's going to the most of the buildings. The other ladies are pretty well stationed.
I'd say as soon as you do that, the others will be asking for one day.
They don't travel far. I know there's one that's on the top of the hill, but she only travels right there. It's not between, it depends. It's totally up to the board, whatever you want to do. You want me to bring them all in here and sit down with them and talk about it all at one time? We can do that, or I can do that in my office and explain why she would be getting a vehicle where the others would not be. I mean, it can stay here, because I don't want it staying at the courthouse because because of the limited space. She could, it could stay here and she could take it from here. So I know it would be checked in and out every day from here. Something to think on. You can we'll bring it back up on Wednesday.
But I'd still have that meeting with them just in case.
Okay. And I think we did have, and I was hoping Attorney Coward was here. We've had a couple little things come up that I need his advice on concerning some law for the building inspections. Ronnie's trying to be sure and go completely by the law, and there was a paper that the citizens would have to bring back to him of anything that's over $30,000 that they're going to build, and I just needed to be sure, and I'll be sending that on to him. So if you hear that out and about, that they've requested, it's called a lien agent, and it is NC law. We have looked that up, but we just want to make sure that before we request him to sign the paperwork and present that we are telling them factual. Neither he nor I have a lot of education on the building inspection side.
And what Laney just passed out to y'all was the general statute on the AEMP account. I lost mine. It's actually an automation enhancement and preservation fund. So anything that has to do with any kind of type of preservation or enhancements that need to happen in her office can be used out of that fund. And it's 10% of the fees that are collected and retained by the county that go into that account.
And I do have something for closed for personnel.
Is there a motion to go into close under GS 113-318-11A-1356 for privilege or confidential information, attorney-client privileged personnel and contracts
With a break.
with a 10-minute break.
Motion.
All in favor? We okay. As far as the raises go, Kim's gonna do evaluations, like she has for others, and she's gonna get some numbers for us, and we're having a continued meeting. She's gonna have those numbers for us then, and then that'll help us make a decision.
On the 27th.
On the 29th.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Okay. Go ahead and ask who we are
For the hire.
for the hiring, okay.
I need a motion.
Do we have a motion to hire Hunter Jones, yeah, for the new recreation director?
So,
Do we have a second? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. All in favor? I told you we need to go back. And do we have a motion to hire Andy Blevins for the assistant recreation director?
Motion.
All in favor? And is all-
Motion to continue.
Now, do we have a motion to continue this meeting